to order. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Bryman.
Could everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now have roll taken by Staff Liaison Francine Spriegel.
Please say present or here when I call your name. Commissioner Boyajian.
Here.
Commissioner Brousseau.
Here.
Commissioner Bryman.
Here.
Commissioner Cutler-Dye.
Here.
Commissioner Lederer.
Here.
Commissioner Leone.
Here.
Commissioner George McGuigan.
Here.
Commissioner Jed McGuigan.
Here.
Commissioner Owens.
Here.
Commissioner Satay.
Here.
Commissioner Schooley.
Here.
Commissioner Shao.
Here.
Commissioner Stein.
Here.
Adult Commissioner Martinez.
Here.
And Adult Commissioner Petrus.
Here.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask Commissioner Stein to please introduce item number 4, the public comment section of our meeting.
This is the time in our meeting when we invite members of the public to state their concerns about youth-related issues in our city or to present items for commission consideration. Tonight we have one public comment. Commissioner Petrus is going to present on the Conejo Youth Employment Services.
I just want to announce that we are in the middle of our 9th annual Poinsettia fundraiser. This funds our programs, especially our Stay in School, Prepare for a Job program. The poinsettia plants are $10 each. They're absolutely beautiful plants. We are getting them from a nursery in Santa Paula. And then if you wish to have more information, we have flyers posted around town that also explains our program on the back. You can call us at 805-496-6868, or you can also email us at yescyes1422@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Petrus. Back to Chair Leone.
At this time, I would like to ask Commissioner Owens to introduce item number 5, the guest speakers portion.
This is the portion of the meeting where we invite speakers to talk on a topic that is relatable to the youth and beneficial to the community. And tonight we have Arlene Scavone. Big business banker, debuts as fierce competitor in Cupcake Wars Kitchen and now national franchisor of award-winning Sweet Arlene's brand. Arlene is just getting started. Her creative vision for expanding her business through new and innovative franchise models will introduce her proven process to other like-minded entrepreneurs across the country. Arlene may be a banker by trade, but she is also a passionate, lifelong baker at heart. Arlene started baking as a child and doling out treats to her family and living by her mother's belief in real butter. Though she declared home economics and foods as her college major, for practical reasons she earned a business degree. For 3 decades, she invested her energy into banking, helping entrepreneurs and their startups get their businesses off the ground and marketed towards success. While achieving her goals as a corporate businesswoman, Arlene never forgot her first love, baking. And along with her proven business acumen came the confidence that she could apply her skills to realize the entrepreneur's dream of doing what you love. After years of practice, research, testing, and perfecting, Sweet Arlene's ensures that only the best ingredients and highest standards are baked into every batch to produce an amazing experience. Taste the flavor, not the sugar. Now, after 3-peat Food Network Cupcake Wars champion and numerous television, radio, and print media appearances, Arlene is recognized as a brand that's gaining momentum both in culinary and celebrity circles. She is trusted as a go-to advisor to many youth and professional groups, speaking on what it takes to follow your passions, sharing real-life, challenging personal experiences, making her dreams come true, and of course, how she won Cupcake Wars again and again. She has developed her signature brand by expecting and tolerating no less than perfect product packaging and promotion in every customer experience. Through her maiden store in Westlake Village, California, national shipping menu and her suite of sweets, a decked-out mobile serving Southern California, and her newest venture, Sweet Arlene's franchises, available beginning 2013. And as seen on Arlene's social media and web pages, Arlene's popularity has grown its celebrity fan base, choosing Sweet Arlene's for their cake, cupcake, and bread pudding fix, parties of one or more. And without further ado, here's Arlene Scavone of Sweet Arlene's.
Hello, everyone. Great. Thank you for having me here. This is wonderful. So I'll get set up here and okay, you can hear me? No?
The push button.
Okay.
There you go.
Technology. It was simpler at a different time. So, no, thank you guys for having me. This is wonderful. I'm very excited. I love talking with the youth of today. My kids are now adults, so, they don't sit in the youth category, but to me, they're still my kids, right? So I love being here. And again, I'm hoping I can share my story with you tonight. It's all about, I think the message that I like to get out to the youth of today, and I speak often about, are choices. Because you guys are up against so many choices today about your career and who you want to be when you grow up and what you want to be when you grow up. And oftentimes there's so much pressure. I know with my kids, one of my sons knew exactly what he wanted to be since he was 8. The other is 22 today and, still figuring it out. And, my stepdaughter is now married at 23. And I think back, I go, wow, I was married when I was 18 and, would I do that over again, right? So all those things are about choices. And what I'm hoping to do is to share a little bit about my story, the choices that I've made, some of the sayings that if you're around me for any length of time, I have tons of sayings that I hope are memorable. And I imprint on my kids' foreheads, right, whenever they're trying to make choices in their life. So I hope that you can take some of this away today. The topic is around dream it, do it, or move on. And I'll share with you some of the dreams that I've had, hopefully some of the dreams that you've thought about, and then making some decisions and choices around whether or not to do it or to move on to another dream. So with that, you're kind of starting with following your dreams. So I mean, how many of you today, do you have a dream about, that big question, who do you want to be when you grow up and you get out of school? Okay, great. So you have that idea in your mind. Your parents, do you know from your parents' perspective, how many of them are following their dream today of what they might have thought about back when they were your age? Any idea? Okay. If you haven't asked them, ask them. It's a great question to think about because it'll create dialogue that, you probably won't get them to stop talking. Okay. The question around a dream and around your career is very near and dear to my heart in terms of how I operate Sweet Arlene's today. Our brand promise is about creating a consistently happy experience for our customers. It's about the experience, not about buying the cupcake. Because if I thought about people coming in and just buying the cupcake, I would have never opened Sweet Arlene's, as you'll see. It was about the journey and about having customers come in and really be happy with the looks on their faces when they purchase a cupcake or bread pudding, when they come back and they say, gosh, my favorite was this. So first kind of message around this is when you're thinking about that dream and that career is, what do you want to do from a journey perspective? Right? It's not about coming in and buying the cupcake. It's not about the job. It's not about, being this. It's about what do you want to do the rest of your life and be happy with and loving it. And in terms of what you want to do, it's not always about getting what you want. I mean, how many of us have always had what we wanted? But you ought to love what you get. And that's what's going to take is a lot of discipline and a lot of focus. What I'm hoping what I can share with you this evening is it's not about just dreaming it. It's more about doing it. And if it's not quite right, doing it over and have those do-overs as many times as it's going to make you happy because it doesn't always just happen that first time. So I want to share with you a little about my background. How many of you have been to Sweet Orleans in Westlake? There's some of you have. Okay, so you kind of know. I mean, have any of you see me on Cupcake Wars, or some of you have? Okay, be on this Saturday again. You'll see on Barbie episode. It's one of the favorite comebacks of some of the top competitors. Keep in mind, it's not about winning or losing. It's really about that journey again. But my first dream that I can recall, I grew up in Northern California in Santa Rosa, about an hour north of San Francisco, and grew up in a very modest upbringing. My father was a truck driver of gravel, basically those big semi dumps that you see on the road, and driving truck, tough life. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She didn't drive. I have an older sister, an older brother. And my grandmother, Nanny, who lived with us since I can remember. It was her home long before me. And, we really didn't have a lot. I remember, our budget, my mom had a $5 bill every day that she was given to go and shop for food. I mean, I'm an avid Starbucks fan, okay? I spend that in Starbucks alone a day. And I can't even imagine growing a household of a family of 6, really, including my nanny, on $5 a day. And that's what we had. And so, innately, you didn't really think about it when you were growing up. You didn't think about what you didn't have. You just, you grew your vegetables. You had a lot of fruit, on the trees. My mom believed in real butter and all the staples of milk and flour and sugar. And we did with what we had. And hence, my sister, who's older, and I spent a lot of time in the kitchen. I will say that the first kitchen I was ever in was this outside kitchen that I learned how to make mud pies. Have you ever heard of mud pies? So you grow up in and there's a lot of rain, and you figure out your dirt and your water, right? And you put these things in. And that was my first experience at a, quote, bakery. But I grew up from there and learned how to, tag on my mom's apron, and we baked and cooked. We'd cook forever, because it was always important to have food on the table, because food was the center of our family. Friends would come, family would come. Grew up in an Italian household, so we have tons of family, right? And everyone knew our home was all around food. And so when, growing up in that experience, having a mom that didn't drive, older brother and sister, they were busy in their school activities. I didn't really have a social life. We lived in a, kind of a rural neighborhood. I had a best friend growing up. But in junior high was probably my first dream that I really had and focused on. And you'll never believe what that first dream was. It was to be popular. I wanted nothing more going into 7th grade, going into my first junior high experience. Back then it was junior high, not middle school. And I wanted to have friends. And it's not like I was unfriendly. I'm by nature, I think, a social type of person, but I was very, very shy. And I didn't get to go to, football or basketball games and football games and those type of things, because I didn't have any access to get there except for the bus. So I set out in the 7th grade. I would never forget, on a rainy day in the cafeteria, sitting alone by myself with my little meal and thinking, I want to be popular. And that became my first dream. And by the 8th grade, I was the first female student body president of our junior high and head cheerleader. Dream it, do it, or move on. And I dreamt it, and my plan worked. And one of the concepts I want to share with you is this 5 Ps. And again, the 5 Ps, my kids had to recite before the ABCs. You have to understand that this is really important to me. The 5 Ps are prior planning prevents poor performance. You ever heard of that before? Maybe some of you have, some of you. If it's anything you take away from tonight, it's to be one of those Arleneisms, I guess, I would like to share with you. Because usually when you hear the term, oh, I'm sorry I was late, but, or, gee, I'm sorry I forgot your birthday, but, or I'm sorry I didn't get that, that chore done, right? all of those excuses typically relate to I didn't plan accordingly. And I plan everything down to the gnat's eyelash, and I became that head cheerleader and that student body president because I planned for 12 months solid exactly what I was going to do to become what I thought was popular and what was important to me at that time. What I found was the dream it, do it, or move on was more about I found in myself that I could actually seek out a choice. I could make a choice as to what I wanted to be and put a plan in place, the what, the how, the when, the who, right? And it actually worked. So when I went on into high school, I had a few others. I won't take the time to share. They're pretty creative, actually. And I tried this cycle over and over. I thought, okay, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to set out a goal and put up a plan and move forward. But when I was in high school, what started to happen is I had to make a decision about what I wanted to do when I got out of high school, right? And how did I want to take my educational path. I couldn't afford a college degree at the time, so because again we had no money. So what started to become a realization for me, and it was this concept of emotional versus practical, was, you know, emotionally, I love being in the kitchen. I love being social. I love doing a lot of the things that I had become accustomed to. But from a practical perspective, my new dream that emerged was I didn't want to live on $5 a day like my mom and my family did. And I decided I wanted to be successful. I didn't know what that meant at that age, right? 16. I mean, I graduated when I was 16. It's like, whoa, you know, but I just knew I didn't want to live on $5 a day. So at the time, there wasn't really any path for someone that's a female, you know, back in those days as a chef, a female chef. You know, that just wasn't really heard of. You couldn't make money doing that. It wasn't, you know, on TV as it is today. So I decided to go into a female, tended industry, which was banking at the time. You know, bankers, you could be a teller. You know, to my mom, that was like the most professional, you know, oh my gosh, you could be a teller in a bank, right? You know, that was like cool. At the time we wore suits and all those good things. We had a lot of money and, oh, wow, you know, I could be a banker. And I did. So that became my new goal. And it wasn't something I had necessarily a choice over. You know, that was something I thought, okay, that's a practical decision. Let me move on. From there, I went into banking, and I spent the next 30 years. And that was my life, and I loved it. And I actually, I became, the what you guys would consider kind of like the executives in the banking world. Up until about 2008. And I had enjoyed a wonderful career. Had children by that time, had a couple of homes. Financially, you know, the $5 a day was no longer even a concept in my mind. I actually was able to give back to my family and take care of them. But in 2008, the last banking crisis cycle hit. And I don't know if any of your parents were affected by this, but there was massive layoffs throughout the industry. And I was one of 240 senior vice presidents at Washington Mutual back then. I don't know if you remember Washington Mutual, that name, national company. And that was 240 out of 40,000 employees. So just to give you an idea in terms of where I ranked in that company. And it affected me. I was laid off. And all of a sudden I was found like, oh my gosh, what do? I never really thought I would ever be, quote, out of a job, you know, my journey, my experience, right? So at this point in time, I had to make a decision, and there was a speaker I heard once that really rang home in my head, and this is another, other than the 5 Ps, like I mentioned before, the prior planning prevents, anyone? Poor performance, very good. Good. The next, I guess, Arlenism I'd like for you to take away is the concept of your choices in life, particularly as it relates to a career, don't always have to be either or. I did make a decision about out of high school when I mentioned I had to make an either-or decision from a practical perspective, so I chose banking. But if you can, oftentimes look at and both. So it's either or, doesn't always have to be one or the other. It can be and both, which means you can really think through and multitasking careers at the same time. So at this point, I was laid off, and I made the decision to not just tackle my next career in a singular fashion, but to do two things at one time. So I hedged my bet. I went back into banking in the way I opened my own business. I opened a consulting business that employed many of my colleagues and former employees from years, actually from decades, that were very loyal and very talented, and I put them back to work in my consulting business, which I still have today. I run over 50 consultants nationally in the mortgage space to help mortgage banks basically help them with all the compliance regulations that have taken place and to help really the consumers get back into their homes. So I have people that work for me now as consultants in that business that worked for me back in the early 80s, if you can believe it. It's crazy. And my and both decision was I wanted to go back to my roots of what I really loved, which was being in the kitchen and feeling like I could share what I actually made in the kitchen with others, hence the thought of Sweet Orleans. So this was the onset of Sweet Orleans. It took me about a year. You'll see a lot of the press around this as banker turned baker, even though I'm still a banker. It's kind of my other side of my hat. So depending on what day it is and who I'm seeing, I'll wear my suit or I'll wear my Sweet Orleans attire. But banker turned baker, I found that fork in the road, and I decided to do the and both, and decided to, for Sweet Orleans, start putting together a business plan. Took me about a year to build Sweet Orleans, so started in 2008. Put together the marketing plan, the financial plan. I was fortunate due to my layoff. I was able to internally fund my financial plan for Sweet Orleans. I made a choice about did I want to go retail, internet, etc. I chose to be retail because I wanted to have people come in like it was my own kitchen. You know, that was my goal. And I also had a vision that I didn't want to look at just one store because I'm not someone that would stay in just one shop and be there forever and ever. I'm used to a national network. So it was the vision to say this would be the first model for a Sweet Orleans that I would brand nationally. And that was kind of the onset of the thinking. Now, the toughest decision, knowing that I wanted to get back into the culinary side, kind of like my kitchen. What product do you pick? I wasn't culinary trained. So I knew I needed to hire the best talent I could. So I hired chefs, basically culinary graduates, which are really, very young still, but that's been their passion. They've gone to school for that. We hire them right out of school, along with our service staff, which is the front, which we hire many high school students today, juniors, seniors, etc. But in terms of cupcakes, it became a business decision. I didn't think back and say, okay, let me open Sweet Orleans because I want to bake a cupcake. It was more about, from a business decision, what could I do with a low cost of entry to the business? How could I create a business that didn't require a lot of risk, a lot of money, keep the product line very narrow, and have it be something that would make people happy, right? And cupcakes seem to be somewhat trendy, but then I thought, well, do I really think that that's going to be a trend that's going to run out? I said, no, I think cupcakes, it's made me happy since I was, 7 years old or 6 years old. I think it'll continue to make my grandkids and great-grandkids happy, and I chose cupcakes. So the concept of cupcakes, too, again, it's probably hard to think back, but for those adults in the room, that timeline of 2008, 2009 was really a tough time in this economy. All of a sudden, people that could afford major luxury, cars and trips and all these things, you didn't have those dollars anymore. So cupcake also became a very affordable indulgence, for about $3. They could come in and be happy with that. So that's really why I chose cupcakes. I'm asked that quite a bit. And then it leads to how we won Cupcake Wars. About 3 months after we were open at Sweet Orleans, we got a telephone call. And it was one of the producers that said, gee, we'd like to have you come and compete on this new show. Because Cupcake Wars wasn't around. It wasn't on the air at the time. This was for their very first season. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. I'm not a TV. I don't even watch TV. But I watch Food Network, so I understood Food Network. I thought it was a joke. And they said, no, we had some producers stop in your shop. They loved your product. We'd like for you to come in, not interview, but whatever the word is, you go in front of a camera and they take the whole, they take a shot of you and they film you. But it's a casting kind of thing, I guess it is. So sure enough, I took Julia, my pastry chef, my partner in crime in this. I've hired Julia since the very beginning. She's still with me today. So, Julia, what do you think? You want to go down and be filmed for Food Network? It's like, can this really happen to us? Again, keep in mind, I come from, really a nowhere land. This would have one of my dreams in life was to have had a car. I never thought I'd be able to drive because I would never be able to own a car. That was one of those things I achieved as well. So the thought of getting on Food Network was crazy. Sure enough, we packed up our product and we put our, best Sweet Orleans attire on and went down to Hollywood, and they filmed us. They interviewed us, sent the tapes back to New York, which is where Food Network is. And within about 2 weeks, they said, we love you and want you guys to come on the show. And you need to be in our, you need to start to film basically in about 30 days. Okay. I've never been in front of a camera before, other than in banking and doing a lot of what I'm doing here today and speaking. So we went ahead. We went to compete, but again, the 5 Ps came up. While you don't know, and for those of you that have watched Cupcake Wars, you always ask, well, is that really real? Oh, that clock's real. You watch that clock, you know exactly what time it is. That is all pressure. You go down. But what we did was we prepared a lot. We practiced in our kitchen of making up flavors, making up cupcakes, throwing things in, and we ran against the clock. And we did it every single night after closing for about 10 days solid. And so we felt good. We went down and we competed. We won, as you know, our first championship on the very first season. We went back a second year for the Tony Awards, which was wonderful. We got to go back to New York to host the Tony Awards after party. And then this last one that the assistants competed against, Julia went on with one of our other assistants and won the Blue Man Group for the Blue Man Group. So that's kind of a little of the trivia around Food Network. So I'll leave you with the thought of choices about your dreams and just, ask you, for those of you that you raised your hands at the very beginning and you said, yeah, I've got a dream about who I want to be or what I want to do when I grow up. Have you committed it to writing yet? Have you sat down and really put it in writing and started a journal? I keep tons of journals. I document just about everything. I have Christmas lists, just to give you I have a red book that has Christmas lists back to the days that the kids were little and have every single thing that I put under the tree, because that's kind of my journal of their journey, as you will. What's your time frame for that dream? And set some goals along the way. As you saw, I made some choices early on. I made some either or choices, like going into banking. That had to be a practical decision at the time. But when the time came and I could do the and both, I chose both, which I still do today, and I love it. And how do you recruit believers around you? Is it your family? Is it your friends? A long lost cousin? Who believes in you and who will help you believe in yourself? And those are all some of the choices you can make right now where you're sitting that will impact your destiny and your dreams for the future. So with that, I'll leave you with dream it, do it, or move on, but always move on to a new dream that you'll love. So with that, that's my presentation. I'll open up to questions. And I also brought some little cupcakes for everyone to share.
Thank you so much, Ms. Scavone. That was so inspiring, and I'm sure we all really enjoyed it. Again, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Scavone? Jordan.
How was winning Cupcake Wars beneficial to you and your company?
Oh, it was. There's no doubt. I'm not a reality show person. If someone would have said, "Hey, you want to go be on a reality show?" I would have said, "You got to be kidding," because it's, again, I honestly don't watch TV. I have not been to a movie at a movie theater for probably, I would say, 10, 12 years. So. But I'll tell you, from a business perspective, because I'm a business person at heart, nothing is better than being on national TV. The way that the national TV has leveraged us, we just started franchising this year. I think you heard that in my opening comments. We started in June. We've sold 8 franchises so far just this year, the second half of this year. We'll be opening in Texas, Salt Lake City, and Orange County in first quarter. With more units to open in Vegas, et cetera, for those remaining units. And like I said, that's like within 3-4 months that we've sold. So I will tell you the power of being on Cupcake Wars. It wasn't so much winning. It really wasn't. It wasn't about the win. It was about the national exposure. And you can't pay for that national exposure because all of a sudden your brand becomes real to people. They see you. I'll go into airports. I'll go across the nation traveling. And they'll like, Sweet Orleans, I know who you are. It's really amazing. So again, it's a little bit of an unplanned adventure, but I've taken full advantage of it by leveraging the media aspect of it.
That cupcake was really yummy. I just tasted it. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, here.
Commissioner McGuinn.
You mentioned you did a lot of public speaking. What places or events other than this have you presented at?
Oh gosh, for Sweet Orleans, matter of fact, I've spoken at the mayor's youth council here. It was one of the recent events this last year. I speak at a lot of schools. I can't even tell you the list. For locally, I mostly speak with youth events. That's where I enjoy most based on my time. I also have been interviewed on different radio stations, different TV networks about kind of the business model and moving from the banker turned baker from an inspirational perspective.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Jed McGuigan.
Hi. My question was, what are your future goals for Sweet Orleans, considering expansion and that stuff?
That's a great question. My goal for Sweet Orleans is to bring that opportunity to owners nationwide. That is my goal. It's not about selling cupcakes. It is about creating opportunities for business owners like myself that would never have had the opportunity. Really, everyone in my company, both on the consulting side and on the Sweet Orleans side, are literally friends, family, and even new business acquaintances that are just very loyal. And I want to see this be modeled. I want it to be a success where people can look at and say, I can follow my dream. So really what the legacy that I want to have is when I'm no longer here, I want to make sure other people say, you know what, you made me happy and I followed the dream like you did.
Commissioner Stein?
For youth who are looking to find employment under people such as you that are very driven and leadership oriented in the business world, what tips can you give those youth to succeed in the business world by being an employee and then maybe eventually being an owner or something like that?
Yeah, a big question. I mean, I'd say start with presentation in a lot of ways, whether it be your email that you're going to send out. You can't imagine how many emails that I get and are misspelled, right? Or there's no follow-up to them, right? So when you think, from the very first point of communication, how do you present yourself? What does your resume look like? Most of the staff that I hire on the front of the house, our service clerks, they don't have any work experience, but they've converted their maybe pet sitting, child sitting, competition in soccer, working with volunteerism, how they've communicated that to me in terms of what that meant to them and the skills that they've learned. from that. So from a presentation perspective, I think it starts out very young with everything that how you communicate in both writing and in your overall presentation. You guys look great up here on this panel. I mean, it's really amazing. And I'll notice that as soon as someone comes in. And then from there, it's doing what you say you're going to do and getting it done and setting the bar above and beyond. I really work with my kids that, just getting something done isn't enough. It's what's doing above and beyond that's going to set you apart. Because you got to figure it out. I spent a lot of money on the core business of Sweet Orleans around our product. I guarantee you more than probably any of our competitors. What we put into the product itself costs more than I again guarantee any other model in this baked goods industry. But we do that and we accept less profit because we know that people will notice that difference, and that's what will make them a loyal fan. So when you think about yourself, you're thinking about every way that you communicate from within first, what's your drive, right? How you present yourself, to then how you really perform. And sometimes you get the job because of how you've presented yourself, but you don't get the promotion because it hasn't made a difference to that owner. And then someday you want to be an owner yourself, maybe. Also, a lot of good companies out there, you may not want the headaches of being, an owner. I've done it all. Right now in my life cycle, I like being an owner and growing others.
Thank you. Is there any questions from the audience members? No? All right, any more from commissioners? Thank you so much again, Sweet Arlene, for coming. We all really enjoyed your presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay.
Now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Boyajian.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Chair Leone. And for item 6 on the agenda tonight is school and liaison reports. So in addition to being an advisory body to the City Council, the Youth Commission also appoints the commissioners to act as liaisons to different organizations throughout the community. And so item 6A tonight is the Teen Center Advisory Committee. Could Jed McGuigan please introduce that portion?
All right, so I will be presenting kind of a summary of what the Teen Center has done and also what the Teen Center will be doing. So fall's in full swing at the Fabulous Teen Center. Our fall and winter program season is due to start next week. A number of different classes in sports, art, dance, music, and computer science will be offered. These classes are offered usually 1 hour a week for 5 weeks. Our middle school leagues are in the playoff stages right now. Girls volleyball is due to conclude Wednesday, November 13th, and boys basketball will conclude Thursday, November 21st. Boys soccer finished a few weeks ago. We are currently in the process of recruiting high school bands to participate in our annual Battle of the Bands competition. This event will be held on Saturday, December 7th from 7 to 11 p.m. If you are in a band and think you have what it takes, give the Teen Center a call, or better yet, fill out a band application, attach a demo, and cross your fingers. This could be your big break. A few major programs are coming up next week. One is the ever-popular Middle School Spirit Night. This will take place on Thursday, November 14th, from 5 to 8 p.m. Sign up for this event at your school. Spaces are limited. On Saturday, November 16th, we will hold our annual Harvest Dance from 7 to 10. This dance is for our Conejo Valley 7th and 8th graders only. Admission is $10 and includes free pizza and drink. For more information about the Fabulous Teen Center, please visit our website at www.thousandoaksteencenter.com. Call us at 805-494-5156. I'll say it again, 805-494-5156. Or visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Thousand Oaks Teen Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jed McGuigan. And next off, we have Commissioner Schooley, who will be talking about the Thousand Oaks Library Teen Advisory League, or TOTAL.
So like Commissioner McGuigan, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we did last month and then what's going to be occurring this month. So a Wii tournament for teens in 6th through 12th grade featuring Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers was held at during the Teen Week Read on October 16th at the Newbury Park Branch Library. GameStop gift cards were awarded to the tournament winners. And on Saturday, November 16th at 1 p.m., the Thousand Oaks Library will be hosting a screening of The Hunger Games. So get ready for the release of Catching Fire on November 22nd and join other teens for the special movie matinee. Pizza and snacks will be provided. And for further information about these programs and other programs, you can check out the library's website online, toaks.org/library. This site also includes valuable and helpful homework and research tools for teens. And don't forget to like the Thousand Oaks Library Facebook page to receive future notifications about library programs and events. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next off, we have Commissioner Cutler-Dye, who will be doing the school reports for tonight.
The Youth Commission invites representatives from each of our local high schools and intermediate or middle schools to present information about school activities for the purpose of generating a feeling of community spirit. Our first representative speaker today is Allison Jeanette from Sequoia Middle School. They're very, very exciting, and some of the ongoing activities that we have, one of them is called CODY, and that stands for Class of the Year. Homerooms compete against other homerooms in their grade for CODY points. Each time there is a CODY activity and the class participates, they will receive points based on how well they did. Each grade level will have its winner, receive a trophy, and a pizza party. We have the intramural sports. Many students participate in that, and that is very exciting. We have a community service club where some of the kids from our school help clean up our school's campus, beautifying it, and they're great kids, and they help our school stay clean. Our Renaissance program is a great way to express learning and education. Kids with C's or higher and E's or S's can participate. It's very rewarding. And we have many Renaissance activities. In the past couple of months, September, we had a CODY Spirit Dress-Up Day where we showed school spirit, and we help kids get pumped up for the upcoming school year that is now been going on. We had our magazine drive fundraiser. We had another CODY Dress-Up Day, and it was Neon Day. We had our Black Light Party. It was fun, entertaining, and it was a learning experience for many of us putting on the dance, and it was great for the sixth graders to see what parties and dances are like, so they got in the mood for that. And then in October, so last month, we had a scarecrow decorating contest where you have to make a scarecrow look like your teacher, and it's very fun. And it was a CODY activity. And then we had a reflections program where some kids showed their talent and creative side. We had some great entries. Some kids did it on poetry, others did it on artwork. It was very, very creative and very fun to see what the kids came up with. And we also had our carnival last month. It was so fun putting it on and watching everybody have a great time. We had each teacher pick a creative booth to do, and they received 50 cents for every ticket they got from the students and people who went to their booths. We had Red Ribbon Week. It was very successful. And we had CODY dress-up days like Shade Out Drugs, so you wear sunglasses, and Turn Your Back Against Drugs, where you wear your clothes backwards. So that was very exciting. And then we had another CODY dress-up day on October 31st, where you wear your Halloween costumes, or black and orange. Some upcoming events that we have and events that have been going on during November. We have a non-CODY dress-up day coming up this Friday where we wear red, white, and blue for Veterans Day. We have Spirit Night coming up, and that is very exciting. We're getting pumped up, and all the kids are super, super happy. We also have a CODY turkey toss, and that goes until the 22nd, and I believe it starts right after Spirit Night. And it's an awesome teamwork activity where you slingshot a rubber turkey into a bucket, and it's for Thanksgiving. We just had our Renaissance dance party today, and that was very fun. We had some kids come on down who have been receiving good grades, and we just danced, and it was great. And then we have trivia for the following weeks for Renaissance still. Where it talks about what's happening in the world. So we'll have questions about musicians or Disney movies or fun things like that. And if the kids guess and answer right, then they receive a prize. And then the 22nd of November, we have our sock hop, and that is the 50s themed party. It's really cool, and we are excited to be planning it. And then we also have our 5K run on the 26th, where the school runs a 5K around the neighborhood, and donations go to the physical education program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kira Bird from Newbury Park High School.
Hi, I'm Kira Bird. I'm a freshman at Newbury Park. So, a couple weeks ago, on October 12th, we had our homecoming. It went well, over 1,000 attended, and our theme was A Night at the Oscars. Last Friday, the Newbury Park varsity football beat Simi. Woo! 2 weeks ago, we had a pink out day for breast cancer awareness, and we decorated the school with all pink, and so that was pretty cool. Our last varsity football game is this week at home at 7 o'clock versus Moore Park. Jersey Day is next Friday. Our blood drive is underway, so you should all donate. It's for a great cause, and our goal is 70 applicants. The applications are due December 5th, and it is on December 10th. Our girls golf team had an undefeated season, winning their league and going to CIF finals. Our play Noises Off opens tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with another show on Saturday at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Go Panthers!
Thank you to all the representatives who came to speak today.
I just want to say thank you so much again to all the representatives who came out, and hopefully next meeting we'll have a couple more, but it really does mean a lot, and it really does add to our meeting, so thank you guys for being dedicated and coming out. And back to Chair Leone now to continue on with our meeting.
So our next item on the agenda is item number 7, the project discussion and overview. So the Youth Commission undertakes a number of projects during the year. I will introduce the following commissioners who will oversee the coordination of these projects and ask them to present summaries and please provide any updates. So item number 7A is the Youth Leadership Summit, and that is with Vice Chair Boyajian.
Hello again. So the Youth Summit provides a unique opportunity to the community youth to share ideas and concerns with community leaders. And so applications are now being accepted, and 7th and 12th graders may apply. Applications can be found at local schools and online, and they are due no later than December 13th. And the event will be held on February 8th. So thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, please see our website or email us.
Next, I'm going to turn it over into item number 7B, the Youth Master Implementation and Team Updates with Commissioner Lederer.
Thank you, Chair Leone. Our next Youth Implementation meeting is November 13th, which is next Wednesday. Please recruit people from your school and your friends to come because we need a lot more members, so thank you for that. I would like to call upon the chairs for each subcommittee. So if we could start with Commissioner Schooley, if you could please tell us about the environmental program.
So a few weeks ago on the environmental team, we restored the recycling or the bottle sculpture that we built last year. That way we could display it at a few more high schools. We're still kind of working on getting a main idea for like a project this year, and we would love more input on that. So if environment is like helping the environment is something you're interested, we would love to have more people join. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Schooley. If Commissioner Bryman could please tell us about the recreation team.
Hi, so the recreation team had our One City, One Book Teen Game Day along with the library on Saturday, October 12th. The attendees enjoyed baseball-themed electronic and board games, hot dogs, and other snacks in honor of the book The Art of Fielding by Chad Harback, and it was a really successful event, and all the participants seemed to really enjoy.
Thank you, Commissioner Bryman. If Commissioner George McGuigan could please tell us about the drugs and alcohol program.
Thank you, Commissioner Lederer. First off, we have an upcoming reality party on November 16th in Agora. So if you want to volunteer as an actor, or if you're an adult, you can take a tour of our reality house party. Please visit our website at www.straightupvc.org. And secondly, on November 23rd, we are hosting the Social Change Theater Seminar at the fabulous Thousand Oaks Teen Center. And this event is designed for parents and their high school youth to be able to hit current trends head on. Parents and teens will interact during this hands-on workshop aimed to bridge the communication gap. So we so often hear about, struggle between parents and teens. So it's a really great event. And again, that's on November 23rd, 2013, 2 to 4 p.m., and then there's another one at 5 to 7 p.m. And for more information, you can, again, visit www.straightupvc.org or contact the Teen Center. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner McGuigan. I would like to ask Commissioner Brousseau to tell us about the engagement team.
Thank you, Commissioner Lederer. As many of you know, the engagement team is working on the new internship program being hosted by the City of Thousand Oaks, the Chamber of Commerce, and CLU called Community Internships Training Youth, or CITY. The program is for high school juniors who are interested in summer internships. This Monday, wow, it seems like a while ago, this Monday we held an informational mixer at the Calvary Theater for interested youth and businesses, and we had a great attendance and some great interest in the program from both businesses and youth. If you're interested in learning more about the program and you weren't able to attend the mixer, feel free to visit toaks.org/city, C-I-T-Y, where there'll be more information on the program and how to apply if you're interested. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Brousseau. That's all of the subcommittees for the implementation program. And once again, the next meeting is November 13th, which is next Wednesday. Time and place. Oh, time and place. 6 p.m. at the TO Library. I don't remember what the room is called, but it's the community room. Okay, in the community room. So be there. Thank you. That is all. I'd like to turn the meeting back over to Chair Leone.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Lederer. Item number 7C is the therapeutic dance. So Commissioner Sauté is going to tell you a little bit about that.
Thank you, Chair Leone. For the therapeutic dance this year, the chosen theme is 50s and rock and roll, which we decided to call a rock and sock hop. The dance will take place on March 29th at the Alex Fior Teen Center from 6 to 9:30. Invitations are going to be sent out around early January, and you can register for the dance online at www.crpd.org. The class registration number that you need to use is 4502.1141. And if you have any questions, please call 381-2739. We hope to see you there, and I hope that you dress in your classiest outfits from the 1950s.
All right. Thank you so much to all of our commissioners who gave project reports. The next item in our agenda is item number 8, commissioner comments. So as we come to a close of our meeting, I'd like Commissioner Shao to introduce item number 8, the commissioner comment section.
Hi, this is the last portion of our meeting where commissioners can provide any information, comment, or announcements which no action by the commission will be taken. At this time, are there any commissioner comments? Yes.
Thank you. I'd just like to invite everyone again to our implementation plan meeting on the 13th. And for those of you who don't know, the community center is located, if you know where the children's center is, or the children's entrance, it's just off to the left right there. So anyways, if you're interested, Big community room. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Adult side of the library. And if you're interested in any of the subcommittees that we just mentioned, please come, because we need a lot of volunteers. Thanks.
Go like our Facebook page, Thousand Oaks Youth Commission, on Facebook. You can stay updated and stay in contact with us. to join our subcommittees, you can message us or email us at toaks.org/youth commission. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? I just want to remind everyone in our audience and everyone back home, we actually have an Instagram now. Feel free to follow us at Thousand Oaks YC on Instagram. Thanks so much.
All right. Once again, that is Thousand Oaks YC on Youth Commission. On Instagram, I'm sorry. If you would like any more information about the Youth Commission or have questions about the agenda items discussed today, please call 805-381-7362 or email youthcommission@toaks.org or like Thousand Oaks Youth Commission on Facebook or Instagram. There being no further business to come before the Commission until the Youth Commission meeting is adjourned to our next regular meeting.